Welcome to the Shortwave Radio channel, and this is kind of a little tips and tricks video here because I see a lot of comments, and particularly since the Facebook group has been started, we see a lot of people talking about receivers and the receivers they own, and glitches and problems and weird behavior of their receivers. So first of all, these tips are going to be in different categories. We're going to start with the purchase side of radios. So it's obvious that one of the things that happens with radios is that when we purchase a radio, and it's like that when we purchase all sorts of things in life, we also like to have, some warranty or some guarantee that if something goes wrong, we could easily return it. And this is where a lot of people are falling in a gray zone because of our purchase habits. So when we buy a radio, and I do that all the time, I purchase a lot of my radios via eBay from Chinese sellers. Now, when you actually purchase through a Chinese seller directly, one of the things that makes that's obvious here is what if something happens? It gets a little complex now because you're actually buying directly from China. And even if the seller is, good and nice, like Anonco, for example, is really good at replacing anything that is, that breaks down. But problem is often you have to return the radio and there's cost to it. It's not like buying from a local, company and a local store, which makes it easier. So I would actually give as my first tip, if you are to buy a radio that I've talked about, for example, one of the first things that I would probably tell everybody is look at Amazon and see if they have it on Amazon at a decent price. Why? Because, of course, Amazon is in general a pretty easy return policy. It's your radio doesn't work, you don't like it, you return it. It's pretty easy to do so on Amazon. So try to find a seller that has, good return policy that sells the receiver you're looking for. So if you can, a lot of Texan receivers, for example, are sold on Amazon. And of course, if you don't like them, if something's bad, Amazon will actually carry that warranty for you. So it makes it easier. That's why buying from a local place is often a nice thing. People talk about C-Crane. Oh, well, they have 1 year warranty. Well, they all have 1 year warranty. Texan receivers are all with 1 year warranty. This XH Data D808, the manufacturer does say it has a 1 year warranty. It's not a question of having it or not, because they all have it. It's a question of where you purchase, making it more or less difficult to actually get into that warranty. So that's the first thing that I would say. Now, that said, okay, I've purchased dozens of receivers, and I've never had really much of a problem except with my Texan PL 680s encoder, but that was fixed. The fact is, because I see a lot of people, there's a lot of Chinese bashing, and I think it's worse now with all that's happening. Remember one thing is that my experience and my reading of blogs, of user reviews, of all the people that purchase receivers that I actually told them to buy, no, Chinese receivers like the Texan brand or it's even the XH Data here, they don't have more problems than any other types of receivers. I was talking this morning, if you start looking at people buying C-Crane receivers, you'll see that they have their fair share of complaints. So, it's a question that there's a percentage of receivers that might be defective. I would like to stress out that 90% of people returning the radio for a problem is the people or the user not knowing how to use it, much more than the radio having a problem itself. So there's all sorts of little things like that you got to understand. There's also the misunderstanding of what shortwave's all about in certain category of people that we got to be careful. So try to buy at a place where it's easy to return. If you can't, of course, there's eBay. And remember, I purchased dozens and dozens of radios, and the rate of failure is low. It's not higher than any other types of receivers. And remember one thing: you always hear about the people that have problems. You never hear about people that have it and have it working well for years. It's like that on everything. Anything you purchase, you'll see the negative side because people complain when something's bad, and it's totally understandable, but nobody complains that it's good, if you get my drift. So it's easy to get a negative vibe about something because of that. That said, I'm sure there are some crappy radios and some crappy, well, there are some crappy radios, but there are some radios that are bad quality for sure. The other thing that I will talk is in the next video, and it has to do with weird behavior of your receivers. So that might be interesting for some of you with a lot of the postings that I've seen. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up. Thank you for watching.